Yo, 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 what's good, my peoples? It's your boy, Big Chris, Compton Animator, and I'm here to give you people another review of this week's Monday Night Raw for November 18th, 2013. Let me check to make sure that date is right, and yep, it's that date. So, this week's Raw was titled Raw Country, and basically the whole show was themed around country music, and they had a special country music band that was playing the nights. And the show kicks off with the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon coming down to the ring and basically talking about that, how they're back and they're refreshed from, their vacation last week, and, they're ready to get business started. And they're saying, some things happened this week and that mayhem was all around, which, it was kind of weird because last week wasn't that much mayhem. It was more confusion than mayhem. But, yeah, they show clips of what happened last week, and I'll have to say, whoever puts the clips together before, the main clip that comes on at the start of the show, that guy needs to do the stories of Raw and Smackdown, because he gets more, he makes sense out of the whole story of the show better than they do during the whole 3 hours. So whoever's doing that or whatever's team that's doing that needs to be the ones that's writing for the show. But during this talk, you get Randy Orton that comes out, and he basically starts bitching about, he's been getting his ass whooped, and the Shield isn't there for him, the Authority isn't there for him, nobody's there for him, and he just wondering, who is the face and stuff like that. And it's funny, one point, Triple H goes, "Who do you think you're talking to?" And Randy Orton says, "The face of the company, the WWE champion." And I'm like, dude, that's not what he said. I don't know who messed up that line, if it was Triple H or if it was Randy Orton. But some things have to slide. It's live TV. There's no cuts, there's no edits. So people are gonna mess up lines here and there, and it rarely happens. Big time happens. Where they mess up that bad. But it was something that was funny, and they stuck with it. And I'm happy that they did that, and they didn't even re-edit it when they showed it back later on the night. But after that, you get Vicky, Guerrero, and Brad Maddox comes out, and they're basically saying, they're sorry for what happened last night, and Brad Maddox puts all the blame on Vicky and stuff. So the Authority says, instead of, going to try to do a gang of other shit, they're going to punish the two people who were basically the fault for the stuff that happened on Monday night, and that is Brad Maddox and Vicky Guerrero. So basically they said they're going to send them in some punishment through the night, and the first match we get up is the first punishment match. It's Randy Orton versus Brad Maddox. And even before the match, Brad Maddox tries to walk away like he's sick, and Kane comes and says, "Nah, son, get your ass in that ring." So it comes back on, and it's Brad Maddox versus Randy Orton in a no DQ match. So they add the no DQ to make Randy Orton happy. The nice part of this match is that Brad Maddox starts to get, an edge after, he's trying to run away and get away, and he gets caught by Randy Orton. He hits Randy Orton in the head with the microphone, and, he tries to beat up on Randy Orton as fast as he can, but ends up Randy Orton just does what he needs to do and just take him over and put him down. And by the end of the match, Randy Orton is just beating the shit out of him with the microphone until, he's just out of it, and they have to say, no, he's gone in the match. So Randy Orton comes out as the winner of the first match and beats the living shit out of Randy Orton. And then we all know that Vicky Guerrero is just scared shitless backstage because she don't want to get the shit beat out of her. And they also announced that her match is going to be against AJ Lee, so she's also terrified of that because she has history with AJ Lee. Next, let's see, we get a match, a title match with Curtis Axel and Biggie Langston for the Intercontinental Championship, and this is basically making up for Curtis Axel dumbass getting injured in his match that was supposed to be at, I believe, Hell in a Cell. They were supposed to do the pre-match at Hell in a Cell, and Curtis Axel ended up blowing out both hips or some shit like that, or springing both hips. So in a pretty okay match, which I kind of caught Raw late, so this one got spoiled for me. But it was a pretty okay match, and ends up, the crowd was hot for Big E for parts of the match. Tonight's crowd was iffy. Sometimes they'll be hot, sometimes they won't. They kind of sat down and just were quiet a lot and just crowd noise was going on, not really them into these matches and stuff, but there were, pretty cool matches that were going on. And it ends up with Big E Langston getting a win out of here after, pulling his straps down and hitting Curtis Axel with the big ending. So, pretty okay match here. Nice to see Big E getting the belt. Big ups to him. And let's see where it goes from here. You get Big E cheering on the outside of the ring, with his first championship, standing against the crowd and stuff and just cheering and stuff. Even had a little white kid just, yeah, and stuff like that. So that was pretty funny. So after that, we get a backstage segment with Randy Orton and the Shield, and Orton's basically telling the Shield, Triple H talked to you guys, you need to have my back. And the Shield basically says, okay, yeah, we'll have your back. Next, we got probably one of the worst segments of the year. It is Divas musical chair segment. I tried to stick with this segment. You had things that I liked in it. You had Jerry King Lawler introducing the girls to the ring. You had, all the girls dressed up in, country gear, country, southern country clothing and stuff like that with, jeans shorts and jean shirts torn up and stuff like that. But the musical chair part was just horrible. First, it starts off, they don't even know that they need to walk around the chairs. I guess they trying to act like they're fighting and stuff, but, it needed to happen quicker and everything needed to be, faster during this whole segment. You got, once they finally start actually playing a game, that's how he was eliminated first. Then Alicia Fox was eliminated, and then after that, you end up getting what happened? Like they start trying to get back to the musical chair thing, and just how much I don't remember this fucking shit. I'm trying not to look at the notes too much, but they all start fighting each other and attacking, and the King is just like getting like not pummeled, like beat up, but like they're all running into him and stuff, and the whole crowd is yelling Jerry, Jerry. So that was the good part of this, but it was a long segment that just went nowhere, and I feel bad for these girls because they got stuck with the musical chair thing, and it's what was it? The whole Divas division was out there, and there like a lot of girls. It lets you realize that there's a lot of chicks in this Divas division, and they basically got two segments in this night, and one of them was piss poor, and the other one was just okay, kind of mediocre for it going on length. And both of these Diva segments tonight had a crazy length to them. Next, we got Big Show versus Ryback in a slow but nice power big man match. You're going to get slow big man matches. That's, how the matches are structured. But a lot of moves were set up. Ryback did his thing in here. Big Show did his thing. And both of them actually look pretty strong here. You got Ryback who ends up hitting the shell shock on Big Show and, does his meat hook and everything and pins him and doesn't get the count. Big Show comes up and, start getting some moves off and ends up hitting Ryback with the KO punch or the WMD punch, whatever they call it. And right after that, Big Show's tired. You get Randy Orton comes to the ring and tries to attack Big Show, but ends up getting a spear for his troubles. So, all of that happens and Big Show standing in the ring like, yeah, Randy Orton, bitch, like, so Big Show's in the ring, cheering and shit. And, this match kind of, made me a little bit more excited for what's, happening at SummerSlam, at Survivor Series. And, it took something I was at, like, I was about 5% excited to, one point to I was 6%. 6 out of 10 excited, So, rest of the night kind of added a little bit more to that. After that, you get the Orton's backstage, and he's talking to he's backstage with the trainers, I think, and let's see. Okay, no. Before that, you got Zack Ryder with the talking to those Florida, Georgia, or whatever their name is, the band that's playing tonight. And, that he's basically getting his little bit of TV time. And then 3MB comes out, and they're telling the people that they're calling themselves the Rhinestone Cowboys for the night. So, that was okay what it was. But the part I liked here was next you had Randy Orton's backstage with the trainer, and he's asking for ice to put on his side, who, because Big Show just speared him. So he's asking for ice, and he said he's putting one big ass pack of ice on him, and then he said, "Give me another one." Puts the other one on, tries to stack them, and just says, "Fuck it," throws them, and tells the dude to get out. So or starts talking to himself, and saying nobody has my back, and fuck, and I think he even cusses at one point in time. He just like pissed off. and it kind of gives Orton a little something extra here. As much as I say, there's not a lot to this storyline. Tonight they did a lot more than they did this whole, build up to Survivor Series. Big Show has something. They kind of quieted it down. They played it simple. That's what I loved about tonight's show as far as, the main event for Survivor Series is going to go. They played a lot of things simple tonight, and they didn't overdo it. They didn't try to overcomplicate it with legal jargon and stuff like that, and have Triple H and them put too much into it. They just played it very, very simple tonight, and that's what made this Orton stuff tonight so much better. He was still kind of bland, but they played it better tonight. After that, we got a match with the Real Americans versus Kofi Kingston and The Miz. And the mainstay of this match is The Miz actually turns heel. So, you get Kofi Kingston, The Miz, who's getting beat up for the most part of the match. Then Kofi Kingston gets his, tags himself in. And at that point, I'm like, whoa, okay. Miz gives him a look like, motherfucker, did you just tag yourself in? And then Kofi Kingston goes in and goes ham, and Kofi Kingston was getting some nice moves off. He looks a little bit more fresh right in that match. He was jumping a little higher, and he was looking like younger Kofi. And then he starts to getting beat up, and he goes for the tag, and the Miz is like, nope, and jumps off the ropes and gets some amazing heat for this. The crowd was booing the shit out of him, and that's exactly what Miz needed. His face turn wasn't working. They needed him for the face turn at the point in time, but I think it all got messed up because of Wade Barrett had some troubles, and then Fandango got a concussion. So all the storylines of when he first turned face are that section of when the Miz was about to do his big I think it was Extreme Rules or Payback, when they had a section of, the Miz was doing something, and that kind of floundered a lot of what the Miz was getting ready to start up. So turning him heel here was, I think, the best thing, and he caught some good heel heat for this. So I really, really like that segment. I really like this. The Real Americans come with the win, and I hope we get something, at least on the Raw Kickoff show, with the Miz and Kofi Kingston. Next we get I thought it was pretty funny, where Vicky goes and knocks on the trainer's room door, where they come and help you get fixed up and all that stuff, and she basically just faints there and plays dead, like she's been knocked out, and she screams and stuff like that, like she's been knocked out. So that was pretty funny. They come back, and they have Vicky on a stretcher, and Stephanie McMahon's talking like, what happened, and she looks dehydrated. And the funny thing about it is they play it like during this whole Vicky Guerrero and AJ Lee segment, they keep saying dehydrated. And what's funny is because, not funny, but I guess AJ Lee was okay with them playing up on this. AJ Lee fainted on a house show from dehydration. So they kind of play with this, and I think because they know that AJ Lee's supposed to be taking better care of herself and she needs to be drinking water and stuff like that, they kind of played with this a little bit. So Vicky had a little fun with it. She was on a stretcher looking up and stuff like that, and like, yes, I'm getting ready to go to the hospital. And then Stephanie tricks her and says, no, you get your ass in the ring. And they end up wheeling her to the ring on the stretcher and just like kind of throwing her into the ring. So like she's playing dead and fainting, asking for water and stuff like that. And she runs out the ring, runs past Tamina. AJ Lee skips over there, grabs her by the hair, which is pretty nice. The way they played it, the way AJ Lee looked and stuff like that, kind of crazy but fun with it. Bring her into the ring, and then puts the black wood on her and she taps. The problem with this, though, too much time. There's a certain thing in comedic timing that you need when you're trying to play a segment and you're saying, okay, this is going to work for just enough amount of time for it to work. If you gave this a little bit too much time, I say a lot of too much time. If you would have played this quick, boom, 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 it would have been way better. It would have went faster, and people would have enjoyed it way more. But having Vicky Guerrero, bleed this out did not help at all. The problem here is that it told the story of, Vicky Guerrero getting her punishment, but it also, didn't give the punch that it needed as well. The time wasn't right, and it didn't give a punch at the end. if Vicky Guerrero would have really took the Black Widow, and AJ Lee would have really put it on her to where that, she's going to have to be in an arm brace for a couple of days or something like that, and she faints from it, that would have been better, and they would have to carry her out the ring or something. But they gave it too much time with her just playing around and acting, with the acting stuff. It was okay for what it was, but, I wish they could have gone back and chopped it up and cut it down a little bit and took at least 2 to 3 minutes off of that, or however, took a few minutes off, or cut it halfway. If they would have cut that whole segment halfway, I would have loved it a lot. But as it stands, it was just okay. After that, we got Triple H talking to Damien Sandow and Dolph Ziggler, and he's basically telling him that, I know y'all don't like each other, but I will put you on a match, and they call it a Broadway brawl. And what the match ends up being is you put a gang of country instruments in the ring, and they fight with those instruments. So after that, we get Damien Sandow versus Dolph Ziggler in a Broadway brawl. Pretty okay match here. The one problem with this match is they took too long to use these weapons. And, it was like, use the fucking weapons, I think almost everything they should have done in this ring should have had involvement with the weapons. And, they spent a lot of time acting hurt and injured. This is a spot where you look at things like ECW and stuff like that, or the Attitude Era, and how to play with these weapons. Things have to be quick, have to be fast, and have to be hard-hitting and action-packed. And playing, we're hurt and stuff like that doesn't really, keep the excitement of these things in the ring. And also they went to a commercial break, and when they came back, half of the instruments were gone and already used. So, it kind of pisses me off, because, that means we have to watch the WWE app for that shit? No, you don't do it on the app, you do it on live TV, And I hate it when they kind of do that to get you to watch the app. I have no problems with the app. The app is fine to me. It's a great business idea. Get people to go to something else that you created. But, the app should be for, just people who want to watch during that point. The money you're paying for is the TV, or the money you're getting paid for is for the TV. Keep the good shit on there. So, what ends up happening is Ziggler gets most of the use of the weapons, hit him with, I think it's a ukulele or something like that. Then he hit him with 2 drums, and then he hits him real good with a guitar. And, he does his Jeff Jarrett little thing before he hits him with the guitar and gets the win. So, a pretty okay match with a really nice ending. I'll say that. And it gives Dolph Ziggler a win. Plus, it also keeps Damien Sandow looking strong here. So, hopefully we probably may get something with them two at Survivor Series. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Or they may hold something where, we may get a triple threat match with them two plus, or a 4-man elimination match would even be better with them two, John Cena, and Alberto Del Rio. So, and that's talking about that almost leads into that. But before that, we get a backstage segment with Randy Orton, who's talking to what was he talking to? He's talking to the Authority and asking them, "Do you trust me? And why don't you have my back?" and stuff like that. And they have to ask. And they're basically saying, well, we're talking about whether or not we trust you and whether we have confidence in you. So the next thing they come up to is John Cena comes out, cuts a promo, and basically talks about, even though he's injured, even though he's had a bad last week and things been happening to him, he's still pumped, he's still the champion, he's still ready to go out there and do his thing and stay champion after Survivor Series. So then Alberto Del Rio comes out and says, also John Cena came to the ring in his arm in a sling. So, Alberto Del Rio comes out there and says, I see that you have your arm in a sling. I don't think you're ready. I think you're still hurt. I think you're very hurt, and you probably can't even lift up the belt with your arm. So, they play this as John Cena may be more hurt than he puts on, and that Alberto Del Rio is going to come in and take advantage of this. Cena actually shows that, he may be hurt, but not as hurt as everybody's thinking, and he uses that to his advantage and basically beats off, basically defends off Alberto Del Rio, and they both have a stare down. So what I like about this segment is, like I said, it was simple and to the point. It wasn't overcomplicated, and it stayed simple and to the point. That's what you need in a really good show. That's what you need in, a Raw that does a lot of good things. So, after that, We get R-Truth. We get we get 3MB as the Rhinestone Cowboys. So they've been coming out every week as a new form of their, music tag team. And we get R-Truth, and they debuting Xavier Woods from NXT. And I really like this kid. I've only been watching NXT for a few weeks now, probably about 2 months if you add it all up. And Xavier Woods is a guy who's basically using, kind of a 90s geek fandom as his character. And he's saying that he's, he's supposed to be a scholar and has gang of degrees and stuff like that. Like a more fun version of Jennifer Hudson's boyfriend. I don't even remember the dude's name. That's how bad it is. But yeah, so you get R-Truth coming out there, and he does his little rapping thing, plus his new thing with, his last 16 bars that he puts at the end of his rap is kind of a fresh new thing, and he's talking shit about his opponents, and he also introduced Xavier Woods here as well. So we get a nice little match with all of them, and Xavier Woods ends up getting the pin and doing his moveset. He's still a lot green here, you could tell, but hopefully Xavier Woods does a lot, and they're saying that him and R-Truth are going to be tag team partners for a while. So hopefully they can get a lot going on here and get a pretty good match coming out of this. After that, you get Xavier Woods and R-Truth starts posing and stuff with 3MB's gear. So yeah, I like what they're doing with 3MB right now. I think even if you're going to have them lose, have them have fun while they're losing. Playing with this, changing their names to new characters every week, and not changing their names, but changing the team name to new music type characters, but still saying they're 3MB every week is a good idea. Even if you're going to have them be the jobbers, have a lot more fun with it, and that's where you can get going with this, and you can start getting them over as bad guys who lose. You use the theory of comic books, Magneto, Joker, and all them guys, they lose every story. Batman and Superman wins. The good guys can lose all the time. You just have to play it to where that they're interesting in every loss. So next we had Triple H and Stephanie basically tell Orton, yeah, we do have confidence in you, but at Survivor Series, you're going to be on your own. No interference, no none of that. You and Big Show. If you beat Big Show, you can stay the face. If you lose, that's your ass. So that was basically the segment ends. That ended their whole little thing for the night. As far as the Authority, Randy Orton, and Big Show stuff go, I thought it was the best it's been during this whole little time. They played it short, they played it simple, and they didn't overload us with the stuff. Even though we saw through the whole night, it wasn't an overload of none of this stuff. So that's what I liked about it. Next, we got the best part of the night. Shit. This is going to be a lot to say. So it was Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Usos, and the Rhodes Dynasty versus the Shield and the Wyatt family in a 6-on-6 tag team match. And it was a phenomenal match. We had a lot of story going on in this. This was, to me, is what the WWE needs. And a lot of people have been saying that, WWE is pushing big guys and they want these big giant guys to be the mainstay. No, what they want, I think when people got it misconstrued, they want big guys as in stars. Everybody who was in this ring tonight is either potential to be a star or is already a star. And the Shield and the Usos played it perfectly. Shield and the Wyatts played it perfectly. They played tonight as characters who, were getting into each other. The Shield, during the whole match, basically only tagged in themselves, only tagged in other Shield members. And they took their whole time beating up on the other guys or getting beat up, tagging in their own team. And halfway through the match, Bray Wyatt has to go. Once he gets his own little tag in, or Luke Harper gets the tag in, tags in Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt holds down, I think, Daniel Bryan and says, look, I want to be with you guys. I want to help you guys. Bray Wyatt's playing that maniacal, cult leader. And he's saying, can I trust you? Can we be together on this? And the Shield and the Wyatts actually start being a cohesion and start working together, which was very good. The way they played that story was really nice. Also, with the faces, they all stayed together. They all, cheered on each other. Every single face tonight got a cheer. As far as all the 6 people on that tag team side. Every time somebody got in the ring, all the guys made the crowd cheer their names. People wanted to cheer CM Punk and wanted to cheer Daniel Bryan, but no, they made them cheer Usos. They made them cheer Cody Rhodes. They made them cheer Goldust. So all those people got a lot of face heat tonight and did a good job with that. So you had a really good match, a lot of back and forth. The first beginning of the match where the faces were getting a lot of play time, and getting a lot of the beat down going on to the heels, and then during the middle of the match, the heels were getting a lot of play time and beating down on the faces. In the end of the match, you know how these tag team matches go nowadays. It goes, chaos happens, and they start going in and attacking each other and stuff like that. So, at the end of the match, you get everybody's doing finishers and stuff like that. CM Punk ends up getting his move, go to sleep going off, and pins, let's see, who does he pin? Give me a second. And CM Punk pins Dean Ambrose. So you got a really nice match here. Slow in some parts, but what really kept it here, it wasn't the wrestling itself that was great. It was the story and characters here. That's, if you don't have, just top-notch wrestling, I want to see story and characters in the match, and that's what basically gave this match what it needed. And it's good. The faces of this on the side of Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Usos, and Rose Dynasty won here. Another great thing is after the match, the Real Americans came out and started attacking the faces, and the Shield and Wyatt started attacking and stuff like that. And then you get a returning Rey Mysterio who comes out and helps. I'm going quick here, but who comes out and helps the faces and stuff like that, and beats up on a gang of people, does his 619 and stuff, and you get all the faces plus Rey Mysterio cheering in the middle of the ring, and that's how you go down at the end of the night. Whew. So I really, give a thumbs up to this SmackDown. I'm gonna score it a B, maybe even a B plus, but I'm gonna stick with a B, only for the reasons that a lot of the things tonight were done okay and done above average, but things like, the crowd reaction and the way the wrestlers reacted to the crowd, some of the match stuff that happened on, things like, they're not doing, the moves certain quick enough and things like that, it just wasn't that quick of Raw. And also the whole country thing could have been used a lot better. The Divas weren't really used greatly here, and timing was an issue here. People were missing lines and stuff. But the great things of the night was you had some good matches here. You had a title change. You had a great end. They did a lot of things to update the stories here. You had a debuting wrestler who got some good time, and you had a lot of good character moments in this show. So I think a solid B to a B plus is a very good score to the show. And yeah, you can catch me at Big Chris 145 on YouTube or on some other places. You can also catch me at the Compton Animator on Twitter and stuff. And I'm also putting up a Tumblr, which I'll probably put the link in on my other videos, or find a way to put the link in on my main page on the YouTube page and stuff like that. But yeah, a pretty good Raw tonight. This has been a long video, but I did it long because it was the go home show. I didn't say this through the whole video, but it was the go home show for Survivor Series. And this Raw kind of got me a little bit hyped for Survivor Series. It did a lot here to get me, more hyped. It didn't introduce a lot of matches but hopefully we get a full set of matches and what there's going to be on Survivor Series and stuff like that. And I'll do my, my prediction for Survivor Series with my SmackDown review. And you have a great night, people. Enjoy wrestling and hit me up. Like, subscribe, and do what you gotta do. But yeah, pretty okay show this week, and peace.